I mean, look at that throw. Dude walked on the field with $1 worth of dimes. According to Next Gen Stats, 0.92 yards of separation. He's got 31 touchdowns with less than a yard of separation. Seahawks led at 13-3 at the break. Fourth quarter, Washington down 20-9. Haskins and J.D. McKissick, they're down 5 now. Minute to go, Haskins gets sacked by Carlos Dunlap. Seahawks clinch a playoff berth despite scoring their lowest points of the season, 20-15. Here's Sal Palantonio.
AJ, tell me about this team's mental toughness to travel to the East Coast constantly and get the big win.
Hey, it don't matter. We can go anywhere. It can go anywhere, Sal. And we talked about it the other day. We do well on the East Coast. I believe we're 12-1 in the past few years, and so it's all our mentality. We know that we're going to travel on the East Coast. Got to wake up early, so got to come up with a win.
10 wins is a marker, and being in the playoffs with games to go, that's a beautiful thing. We're going, we're playing for everything, and which is great. Again, next week be another championship game for us.
First time going to the playoffs. I know you have 2 games left.
Hell yeah! That's a hell of a feeling, man. I'm sorry, I'm not used to this, guys. Forgive me. I know you guys are used to, Seattle, always going to the playoffs. I'm not used to this. I'm used to sending my cars home by this time. And, hey, I'm already packing up, learning where I'm going next. Where's the vacation? When am I seeing family? Sorry to cut you off, brother. I'm just excited, man. So God is good.
We got 2 games left still, and we're right in the middle of everything. So, we have wanted to win this one? Absolutely. But we got 2 more games, and we'll take them one at a time, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, mad props to Jamal Adams getting a taste of the playoffs. So the Seahawks joined the Packers and Saints among those NFC teams who have already clinched a playoff spot. Seattle's 9th trip to the playoffs in 11 seasons since Pete Carroll came to the Great Northwest. And as we saw earlier, the Saints' loss opens the door for the Packers. They'll have a chance to clinch home field advantage throughout the playoffs next week. Tim, when we talk about Seattle over the last couple of years, so much of that pressure from that offensive standpoint goes on the shoulders of Russell Wilson. But he had less than, 130 yards, something passing in this game. It was really the ground game that enabled Seattle to get that win. What did you see from that aspect of that offense?
Well, you're right, Michael. It was the ground game, and it really kind of set the tone for the second half. And Seattle, to do the things that they want to do, they need to have some balance. Basically, these are 3 of the first 4 plays of the second half. It's outside zone. They do an excellent job of getting the edge, tackle and tight end, get up to the second level, and then watch Chris Carson finish the run. I mean, that has kind of been the mentality of the Seattle Seahawks in the past, and they've gotten away from it and relied on Russell Wilson. But kind of similar situation here. Great cutoff block on the backside, seal it. That leads to another good physical run by Chris Carson. And then Carlos Hyde, who didn't touch the ball many times in this football game, comes in on second one. It's a split zone. Look again. Sweat comes up the field too far. Disley does a nice job of going to the next level, helps clean up the block with a tackle on the second level, and there goes Carlos Hyde. And I think that if Seattle can commit to a little bit more of this, or just some more balance, it just creates so many more opportunities. They have speed on the outside, so it'll go great with a hard play action. They have a quarterback that can create. I just think they sometimes get too far away from, being committed to the run game. They did in the second half. It certainly paid dividends.
Yeah, you got to love it if you can have your quarterback and Russell Wilson have the 4th fewest yards in his career, and you still going to win because of what you did elsewhere on offense. But, Rob, let's go to the other side of the ball. As you look at that Seahawks defense right now, how good is it in terms of what impact it will have on this team trying to make a deep run into the postseason?
Well, I think that could potentially be their Achilles heel. You look at their rankings defensively, they will be the worst-ranked defense in the playoffs. So I understand once you get in the tournament, everyone has a chance. But the balance that Tim talks about, you have to have some balance on defense as well. You have to have some stops. You have to have a secondary. You have to have a pass rush. And you look at certain teams that play the Seahawks, and they march the ball down the field, and they look like they're Hall of Famers out there. So for Seattle to have success in the playoffs, in the postseason, they're going to be playing teams that have very potent offenses. They play Green Bay. They play Aaron Rodgers. If they match up with him, they need a defense, and they need a strong defense with a good secondary and a pass rush that can do that. So that is my only concern. Can they flip a switch at this point in December? it's impossible to flip a switch. You basically are what you are. You are what you are on tape. What you see on tape is the team that you are. So for me, it's going to be tough to think that they're a Super Bowl contending team with the defense that they have.
Yeah, hard to flip a switch. You got 2 games remaining in the regular season to find a little more juice on that side of the ball before those playoffs start. Another game on Sunday that had a lot of implications for the playoffs was between the Patriots and the Dolphins. Bill Belichick's squad, they're always in the postseason, right? Tua and the Dolphins knew that they're a lock if they can win their last 3 games. It's as simple as that. Pick it up in the third quarter. Dolphins down 6-0. Tua down to the 1-yard line. Next play, Salvon Ahmed stopped, but he wouldn't give up. Dolphins take a 7-6 lead. It's 9-7 now. Tua, 3rd and goal. Avoids the blitz, goes up the middle into the end zone. So the Dolphins now go for 2. And Tua would find Isaiah Ford here. Back to Ahmed, touchdown. Dolphins win it. They go up, 15-9. They win it 22-12. First rookie quarterback to beat New England in 7 years. Here's Jeff Darlington.
This is precisely what we've come to expect from this Dolphins team. Tough, gritty, unrelenting in the face of mounting injuries on offense. But the Dolphins didn't just get a win thanks to 250 rushing yards and a pair of rushing touchdowns from Tua Tagovailoa in the fourth quarter. They also eliminated the Patriots from the playoffs, all while keeping their own wild card hopes alive.
I think we overcame a tough first half. But that just speaks to the resiliency and the mental toughness of this team. Didn't play great in the first half. Got down into the red zone, turned it over. This team, we don't go in a tank. We just keep playing. We just battle through.
And every week we go into, preparing for a game. It's always next guy up mentality, knowing that we weren't going to have Jakeem and we weren't going to have DP. I mean, that's tough, but you got to get a good groove with the guys that you're given. And, we went out there and did our best to make that work.
Disappointed, but we didn't deserve to win today. So,
I mean, what do you want me to do? What you want me to complain? What you want me to tell you? Everything that's not going right? I mean, we know what the standard is around here. Doesn't take a person that's oblivious or been living under a rock to understand that. But we just came up short, and that doesn't mean we're not good enough, because we are. We just didn't show it.
Now, the Dolphins still control their own fate in the AFC wildcard picture. Win against the Raiders and the Bills, and they're in. But a lot of that could be predicated on how healthy they are. They were without wide receivers Devontae Parker and Jakeem Grant, as well as tight end Mike Gesicki against the Patriots, but all 3 are scheduled to practice this week. In Miami Gardens, Jeff Darlington, ESPN.
All right, Jeff, thank you. Now, Bill Belichick's legacy and that of the Patriots dynasty is forever cemented in NFL history, evidenced by the streaks that came to an end Sunday. The streak of 10-win seasons, division titles, playoff appearances are all no more, and we're all the